What do you see here at the rear of this E-Class? Well, it's the estate model, the new one at the world premiere here today in Autogefühl, your #1 resource for in-depth car reviews and your #1 community to discuss cars with Thomas. So an exclusive premiere here for you again today with the E-Class estate, or the so-called E-Klasse T-Model, we say it in German. T-Model, it sounds a little bit bulky. Will it be bulky from the design from the outside, and will it offer a lot of space on the inside? We're going to find out right now here for you. And here it is now, and you see the most important part is the rear directly. And the big question for me was, does it look bulky in the way as the previous generation? I think they have managed it here quite well, because it has now a rounder shape on the outside, and that makes the car appear a little bit slimmer. You see the taillights are also more drawn horizontally. It has even a little bit of the coupe styles of the Mercedes models. That makes the rear here a little bit sportier. This one here is a normal version you could pick in a matte white. So here it's the E43, and that's a normal petrol engine then. So you get 4-cylinder with about 2 liter and 6-cylinder with about 3 or 3.5 liter, and also later on the big AMG version than with an 8-cylinder, and of course also 4-cylinder diesels with 2 liter. We can directly open the hatch, because that's the most important part. Electric hatch is from Zero Equipment, called Easy Pack, and there is maximum space will be 2,820 liters, and you see very good what we can load in here. And Mercedes says it's the biggest space in the premium segment. If you go for the non-premium segment, Skoda Superb has about 2,000 liters, so that's a little bit more than in the Mercedes, but then you're not in the premium segment, although the Superb is, of course, well, I could say it's a premium vehicle, and it's also, of course, premium space. But here, what is interesting, they are the only premium estate in the American market as well, so they are not afraid to sell this estate also in the US. And you can see it right here. We can also flip the seats right here and also on the other side. So it's very interesting. And that's the maximum space setup. And you've maybe seen it on our sedan video. The sedan is really not practical, not versatile. This one here is. In the sedan, you had to unlock everything from the rear and then flip it from the front. Very unpractical. So here is very good. Also, I like this very soft surface here, this kind of carpet we have here in the rear. So good premium stuff here. And also this aluminum cover here in the front, or aluminium for our British friends. This one here comes also from the standard Zero Equipment, but you have to be sure it doesn't get scratches. And here is the cover foil is still on it, that you maybe can sell it later on. Let's see what's beneath here. And usually you can also get a replacement tire optionally. Those fixations here you can get out, quite well hidden, and then you can set them right here in. Then you can split the rear trunk, also a practical solution. 12-volt power supply is in the rear here. Also a nice color combination from the bright to the brown interior. And this one here, the cover for the rear trunk, you can slide it in here, and then it automatically also opens and closes with the rear hatch. That's also a nice solution. And to separate it, maybe for a dog, you can pull out this one here. So overall, I think, especially if you want to combine premium ride here with a lot of space, it seems quite well. And I heard that you can place 12,000 tennis balls in this trunk here. Cockpit in the front, we've already seen with the sedan, with those huge screens. Optionally, you can also get just analog instruments, but if you go for this option here, wow, it's a very widescreen format, and those air vents, well, some love them, some hate them. What I always like is the use of wood. This is very elegant, of course, and the interior looks really cleaned up, so a high-class design they have, and also a great build quality. What we can see here with the seats, well, I like the color combination, but the test show cars are usually always genuine leather, and the good thing is in the E-Class, also in this state, it starts with cloth seats, of course, depending on the market, and then you have Article seats available, or MBTEX, that's leather red, good solution. And in the AMG lines, you can get Dynamica on the inside and leather red on the outside, so you have good alternatives to genuine leather. If you look here at the rear again, because that's also special, because we can also flip the seats here from the rear, and we got the same button we have in the trunk. We also have at the sides, and if I press the button at the side, it's right here on the left side next to the seat belt. Then also again, the seat can be flipped. And what's also new is that we can not just split it 2/3, 1/3. You can also split it separately here. So if you maybe you just want to use it as a ski hedge, for example, here, then you can just put the middle part below, and two people sitting here, and maybe your skiers in the front, they could go through. So you could also do that. And another advantage of the Estate is when I get in here, I have way more headspace. And you might remember the video from the sedan. You didn't have too much space here headwise, and we did not have the. Did we have the panoramic roof? We have to recheck that. But the thing is here we have the panoramic roof, and they're still, with me, 1.86 m in height or 6'1". There's still a little bit of space above my head to the side here, and even more to the glass roof. So if you want to go for a glass roof with tall people in the rear, then the Estate might also be a solution, because you see the roofline continues the way to the rear, and the sedan would already be falling down for the roofline here. And so for the rear passengers, definitely also the better pick here for being in the Estate. So those are the main changes here. Hi, how are you doing? For the trunk and for the rear seats. And the front is basically the same. You can also see more details in our sedan version. But of course, if you have missed it so far, we'll also take a look here right now. Here again, you couldn't see it. This is the button also in the GLC. We had that one, how you can flip the seats here from the inside. A very good solution. You see it goes also all the way flat, so you have no step in that. And here manually you do that with the middle part. That's also easy. Don't have to have, a lot of power. And see how everything is stored. They really thought about the details. Also, for example, the middle seat belt holder here is very well hidden in here. And then, important for child safety, the ISOFIX to fix the child seat, because I also want to stress it, traveling with children. And the car is also very quiet in general, and there's also this special insulation pack available with infrared foil in the windows and a special sound insulation which we've tested while driving. And this is also with this pack, it's the quietest car we have ever driven, definitely. Here in the front, you can see, well, the driver's seat would be a little bit far behind when I'm driving, but still there's enough knee space here left. Of course, it always depends on how tall the driver is. Optionally, you can also get climatization for the rear part. Here, for example, you could control the vents here the vents, and also the temperature, but the ignition is not turned on here at the moment. Look how everything is processed here also in the rear. Burmester sound system. Optionally, I can tell you it's one of the best sound systems we've ever tested. And Michel, our cameraman today, he is a sound expert, and he also agrees to that. Here is a glossy wood. I would rather prefer the matte wood. I think we had it in a sedan. Again, however, how everything is processed, it's just really great. And as I said, you do not have to pick the genuine leather. By the way, especially for the children, again, you can protect yourself against the sun or protect the children. Also goes to the rear part of the window. That's also a nice solution. So even the door handles from solid build, it's all covered with rear metal. I really like it. And a very comfortable position in the rear, and I do feel way more comfortable than, for example, than in the sedan. And another look here at the panoramic roof. You see it's split. See it maybe in the rear. This one is the one in the front. I'm not sure if it's working here right now, but no, they have not turned the ignition on that way. But it's quite huge, and you can also open it if the power would be available. And now to the front, so you have a clear overview now also to those digital instruments. They are very impressive, but I'm also just a fan of classic analog instruments. The steering wheel, again, with this very elegant style with the aluminum cover. Overall, I really love this design, but some also don't. This one here, the Designo Special Package, and I said genuine leather, well. Oh, now I realized they have put the front seat way in the front, so the rear looks more spacious. It's a good trick from Mercedes here. But when I'm sitting here comfortable as a tall driver, I would rather be sitting like this, I would say. Yeah, like this. And then you see, then there's not so much space here in the rear. I can soon switch places again, and then you'll see again, but you've always seen it in a sedan. We like color combination, but you can also, for example, if you pick the faux leather, the Artico, there also, for example, brown leatherette is possible to have. What is very interesting here with the new controls, if you pick that all digital setup, because the normal MMI system here below there with turning and pressing, that was, well, a little bit yesterday, and it also takes a lot of time to do that. Here now, the new system at the steering wheel is a great solution we've shown you in the sedan, because there is here the left touchpad for the screen here and the right touchpad for the other screen. And then, see, when I, for example, scroll with my thumb on the right touchpad, I can change something here in the menu, and I can also always go back, for example, here to, for example, to the main menu, and then scroll right again. And that is a solution where you never have to take your hands off the steering wheel, but still you're always in control, and that also adds to the safety feature here. We really like that system, whereas the traditional Mercedes system to control it with a knob here, it always takes a lot of time to do it. Apple CarPlay is also available in the E-Class. It's not in a lot of other models, for example the GLC or the C-Class we've recently tested. Here in the E-Class, Apple CarPlay connection is available, so that's also a step forward as for the connectivity. An E-Class wouldn't be an E-Class also with an analog clock here in the lower part. And this is quite small, but it's enough. And what you can also see is that the horizontal layout of the temperature vents we have seen in a lot of models here now, that adds again to, you still have the menu controls of the vents, but still it's integrated very well into this interior, which follows the design topic of so-called sensual purity. And it's also about that, for example, those gaps here are very well hidden. You see the interior, the panels are overlapping and therefore hiding some of the gaps right here. That is also one of the main Mercedes design topics, and I think it's very well done here as well. Storage spaces in the front, you have this very well sliding up here, 12-volt power supply, beverages hole will be inside, and also the middle armrest. We also know that from the E-Class sedan. But of course, the biggest storage space is what we've shown you here in the rear. And overall, I think a very good result. Here, for example, the rear mirror. Above that, LED lights to give some light in the interior. So overall, there's hardly anything you can find you can criticize, because it's kind of one of the most perfect estates. Besides, of course, the genuine leather I can always criticize, but they always equip the test cars with so much stuff, because you want to show you, like, this is what we got, this is what we can do on the maximum level. I would rather prefer that they show, for example, a middle trim level that normal people can also drive. Also, taxi drivers, by the way, take a lot of the Artico leatherette, because you can clean them quite easily, and they're also more durable on long term than the genuine leather. Also interesting because I quite often talk to taxi drivers as well. So that's it for the interior here. As for the normal E-Klasse T-Model or E-Class Estate, we also have the AMG model, the E43, available next to us. Let's first now take another exterior look around this one, and then change to the AMG model, because we can also see the differences then. So we concentrated on the interior here today first, because this is the thing that has changed most, especially with the Estate and the rear part. Let's now catch up with the front part, because you can see here with the E-Class there are definitely 4 different lines, and the standard one and also the so-called exclusive line. There's a classic star on the top here. This one here, if you have the Avantgarde line or the AMG line, then you have the star here in the front. That is the sporty look, not that the very classic look. I would also prefer that one. The other one looks a little bit old school for me. 2D logo here as well, because the sensors are hidden beneath the logo, behind the logo, and there's also a front camera here. Here is also the layout with a two-fin design right here. Basically the same front than we have in the sedan. Those ones are the optional LED lights. You see it's a very nice blue contrast there in the LED lights as well. And so from the front, from the very front, you don't see too much of the difference between those cars, and you can personalize your car with the different design lines as well. They also can be combined with different interior lines as well. Then if we move on to the car, so we are about just over 4.90 meters in length, and from here the design line, dropping line divides in light and shadow very well to see here as well on the height of the door handles. I prefer it when the design line is at the height of the door handles, always a nice thing. Also great detail that we get chrome on the upper part of the door handles and the white color on the lower part. And then starting here we see that real difference from the sedan and the estate. 20-inch alloys, by the way, here, massive alloys for an estate version, for example. Also nice design, fitting also to the white color of the car. Here is now the main difference, and it reminds us a little bit also of the C-Class estate, definitely, with the chrome span falling down, and you see a relatively straight design line to the front. And indeed, because we got a, it's getting a little bit slimmer to the rear, and I think the previous version looked a little bit bulkier in the rear. And I'm quite satisfied that it looks a little bit slimmer in the rear now, but although it hasn't lost too much. You can see from this direction a little bit, see? This makes the design really more beautiful than the one before, because I'm usually also more a sedan fan, don't like estate designs that much, but you have to see, I mean, I couldn't transport my bicycle with the sedan. Here it would be no problem also just to put a bicycle in here if you remove the tire. We then again take a look at the rear, because now also the hatch is closed again. We come around. Maybe this is also a nice perspective here if we take a really close look from behind. There it is. And I think this design, as I explained earlier, it works because the taillights have been formed in such a horizontal way that we also got kind of a sporty look. Also, well, there you lose a little bit of space. For my E-Class estates, they had the window line a little bit steeper. So you lose a little bit of space in the height here because they want to make the design a little bit sportier, to make the window a little bit flatter. Of course, I'm always interested in your opinion, what you think about the design here of the new E-Class estate. Let's now compare to the AMG version. And there it is. We also start at the rear. AMG E43 estate. See it here, the logo E43 here and the AMG logo on the left part. And well, the main difference is that here we got a diffuser rear. If we move down, it's the diffuser and of course another exhaust. And again, it is fake. So this split here is fake. The real exhaust is hidden here. There's one pipe and another pipe on the other side. But yeah, you know, fake exhaust is one thing at the moment in the automotive scene. And I know you guys, you don't like it. So, well, maybe the manufacturer should read the comments. Maybe they'll change it then. I don't know. Let's also here check out the trunk. You see a different color on the exterior and also different color on the interior. I more prefer the bright interior as well, but maybe you prefer the black one, then write me in the comments. Here you can also see that the cover I've mentioned, it moves up automatically when you open the hatch. It's a good and clean solution. Of course, you can also just remove this cover completely. Here again, just the space we have on the inside. And again, I think in the prices there should also be a replacement tire available. And the using of space, again, very good. And the same thing is we can flip the seats from here. That's the best thing. If I also do it in the left part, then, well, you see, not always it's automatically flipping. Sometimes you need to push from the side. And well, the reason for that is because the belts are holding the seats. If you remove the belts along the seats first, then the flipping process also works automatically. Let's also, because Mercedes is stressing, you know, having this car with children, let's test child safety with the rear hatch. Electronic, it's again from serial equipment. Let's see. If I just hold my hands here. very good result. And well, we have had a lot of cars recently where this didn't work. This one here, perfect S213 sensitivity. I really liked it. I've criticized it in a lot of videos that it wasn't sensitive enough. This one here, I think one of the best results ever. And still, you know, you see it is possible, because sometimes they argue, yeah, we have to be sure that that it's always closing properly. Here, it closes properly and still is sensitive enough for child safety. Great result. Let's check out the rear, because we have the different design here, AMG. See, on the inside we don't have wood. This is you know, some kind of checkered structure. It's also feeling a little bit rough, but it's also this scheme, red contrast stitches to have a sporty AMG style. And one look at when the seats are flipped, we can open the door. Not really opening 90 degrees, but it also doesn't have to. That's when it's fall down. By the way, also fixations for tension belts. You can see it right here. I always like that because when I transport a bicycle in the rear trunk, I need fixation belts, definitely. So, and let me turn it up again. Red seat belts are also available. Oh! If you want to flip the whole bench at the same time, that's you know, that's a little bit heavier. Looking at the rear, we got some Alcantara inlets here as well. Again, same seat combination counts. If you pick the AMG interior, then you usually get the mbcar microfiber on the inside, Artico faux leather on the outside. That's my favorite combination at Mercedes and also overall in the industry. So sitting here again, we again got the panoramic roof. Well, to the glass we really have a lot of space, but to the sides just a little bit. The seat is again a little bit too far in the front. I have to move it back, because here again there is more space than it really is when there is a tall driver. If you have a small driver, then you have this space here. And again, get the same buttons to flip the seats also from this part here. And now, well, the cockpit is also very interesting here in the AMG model, but stay tuned for that, because we also want to show you the AMG model from the outside, of course. Main difference is here, for example, that we got other rims. We had 20-inch on the other one as well, and this one is at least also 20-inch. Let me just check it. Yeah, it's 20 indeed. AMG logo on the side here, and this B color scheme, bright on the inside, black on the outer parts. Bigger brake discs, for example, as well, because we also have more power. Very impressive here in this style. And I also want to know what you think, which one is better for you, the 43 or the normal one. Here also main difference, we don't have the chrome frame. I guess this is also due to the night pack. We also had in the sedan. The night pack includes that you have black frames around the car and also black alloys. So I'm pretty sure this one is also combined with the night package. Sometimes we have to improvise now at the world premiere, because at the moment it's placed in the interior. Solid door sound. I like it. Also solid door handles. That's the AMG interior line here. And as I said, not the standard one, it's an optional one. Flattened end steering wheel, perforated side of the steering wheel. Here again, this checkered aluminum look. And you see the ambient light, which you can change the color to, is set on the red color here. And different sport seats with more side supports. They are really different in the whole form here as well. And in the middle part, you can see this carbon fiber look, especially on the cover below the clock. Very impressive carbon fiber look, but of course you can just configure it as you wish to. I'll also test this here as for the seats. Yeah, very interesting for the seats, but yeah, you feel more a little bit caged in, let's say, take it that way. And here you can change the seats always, also in lengthen the seating area. Then seat heating, seat cooling, and what's that? It should be the memory seat. Here on the inside the door also the different functions are available. Optional again, you have to pay for that extra. And sportier seating position, but I would definitely prefer the normal seats, because you know, they offer you a little bit more space. These ones here, the seats also feel a little bit smaller itself. Well, some like it, and I mean, if you're also smaller itself, maybe a sport seat is better for you. I would rather go for the normal seats, but of course this version here has these sporty details, also attractive from the inside then, of course. Looking forward to the front, because this one is of course always different in the AMG models. Again, the biggest braking disc is always in the front. We see also the contrasting brake calipers from AMG. Right here, wow, massive stuff really to brake this car. And to the front, and there we got my favorite diamond pin grille. I really prefer that one. I think it looks more beautiful in the longer the distance is between you and the car, then it looks really impressive with this fact it looks like really a nice grid full of diamond pins. And you see not two fins in the horizontal, just one horizontal fin. It also looks a little bit cleaner, and also the lower bumper is way stronger. This one is just fake, it's closed, it's a closed comp net. Same as here, it looks like bigger air intakes, but again, just fake, they are closed right here. Overall, an impressive view here on that car. And I think the most important one about this one is right below here. Yeah, we can open it. One of my colleagues is helping me. That's great teamwork here. You know, we're always working together with some of our colleagues. Thank you very much. Because right here, bi-turbo engine, V6. And in this case, this one here gets 400 horsepower. And well, this will boost your family pretty much. I also like that we got the red contrast on here. The 43 AMG models is not combined with the concept of one man, one engine. So they are from a serial production for the V8. Then you got this one man, one engine, true AMG concept. So I call these ones here the AMG Light versions, but they are way better in the, let's say, power-priced performance. And so I would always rather go for the 43 because the 63 models often have like too much power. And those ones here, also in combination with an all-wheel drive, you can get the power to the ground, and you know, you're not too overpowered, and also don't pay such a high price. 400 horsepower in an estate, that's really a lot. And yet another color and another version, the 220D, but that has nothing to do with the front. But what's interesting here, this is the classic layout I meant earlier. You can pick this one in a standard version with the E-Class, with a new generation, or also in this SK exclusive line. Then you got the classic star on the top, but I think it's just a matter of time until someone rips it off. It's very ugly to do that, but there are a lot of people who do that, just ripping them off, and therefore it's also one reason why over the times this layout hasn't been used that often anymore for Mercedes cars. But you know, the star on top, well, it has something, definitely something unique, but the front grille, this one here with the 3-fin design, I like the other ones better. They are sportier, however. But maybe are you one of those who prefer this front grille? Then I would be very interested to hear that. Also, again, the color silver, this one will be one of the most favorite colors because, well, screaming colors, they are always very attractive, and you know, but again, a lot of fleet car customers, and then they also quite often pick conservative colors. We can also take a look at the side profile here as well. If we move around the car, then you can see how the car looks right there. Here the alloys are also not that huge, and that should be 19, yeah, it is 19 inch, also in a B color scheme. Here I can just make a freeway for the side profile here, how the car looks. We can also, you know, not so many people around here now. They can also see how they manage it here with the rear side part of the car. Really looking forward to your opinion. How you think, did they really make a score point here or not? What's also interesting, we can see at the very detail of the side part that the very end is in a shiny black color. You see it right here. You can better see it here in the silver car. We didn't see that much with the black car now. Interesting detail. And this is a nice visualization here of what is meant by how many liters can fit in the rear. This one here, 640 liter, is loaded to the upper edge of the rear. You know, normal setup. Then here, 1182 rear seat backrest fully loaded to the upper edge of the driver's backrest. So if you have folded the seats, and then here rear seat backrest full loaded and loaded up until the roof, and then you can put those 1820 liters. It's a theoretical value on the one hand, but here with the tennis balls we have one possibility to visualize it. And you can also check out the trunk down here for real. Also with some children bicycle in here, very nicely done for display. But also adult bicycles do fit in there if you lay them flat and maybe remove the tire. But there's also, you know, a little bit better conceive it how much space there is on the inside, rear seats folded in this case here, of course. I really like this bright interior that is available. I would definitely go for that. And I think here also the cover foil, which is looking a little bit blue, is removed now. Now you can see how the cover is being done here. Interesting, this color, I'm not really sure. From the front it looked silver, but here, I'm not sure how it's in camera, here from the light it looks a little bit blue. Maybe it's kind of silver blue tone. Very interesting, it has different nuances. And the last interior view for today for this car, a little bit different from the color setup. Again, the bright interior, also sadly genuine leather, but again, good alternatives available. Brown contrast from the steering wheel to it. And another kind of wood is used here, again a glossy one. But you should check out our sedan full driving review, because also matte wood is available. And another thing that counts for sedan and estate as well is the autonomous driving function. We cannot show it here today, but that's also in our sedan full review, because on the Autobahn it was really impressive how you can really take the hands off your steering wheel, and it works perfectly. In the city and in the countryside road, I would rather prefer the Tesla autonomous drive system. Here on the motorway, really trusting on the Mercedes one. Check that out in the review, definitely one of the main aspects here of the new E-Klasse way, moving forward to the autonomous drive. So that's it for the interior. So I hope you liked this inside of the Mercedes E-Klasse estate at the world premiere, the E-Klasse T-Model, as we say in German. And you will surely tune in to the full driving review. This will come at a later stage then. And of course, the sedan version is already available in our full driving review. We will link that one in the video description. And now I'm looking forward to your feedback. Which versions would you go for? And which color would you pick? AMG, not AMG? And what do you think in general about the design of the new estate version of this new E-Klasse generation? Thank you very much for watching Autogefühl. We see each other at our next episode.